Hi everybody, my name is Marianne Richmond and I am a longtime children's book author and artist who has been creating work for children for almost 3 decades. But today I am coming to you with a whole new kind of project. It's my first adult nonfiction work in the form of a memoir called If You Are My Daughter, and the subtitle is Healing an Unmothered Heart. It is the story of, it is the story behind all my stories, how growing up with misdiagnosed epilepsy and an emotionally unavailable mother had me questioning my sanity and self-worth before finding my own path to physical and emotional healing. I was inspired to put the story into words after telling it so many times in person as I presented my work for children, that I wanted to finally put it in a book to share as a loving witness for people who might be traveling a similar journey. And while it is a Healing an Unmothered Heart tells a mother-daughter story, it is a story for anyone who has faced challenges and hung on to disempowering beliefs about themselves and really yearns to rewrite a new narrative for their life based on the truth of who they are versus based on the best and worst of what's happened along the way. Boulder Bookstore asked me if this was a difficult book to write, and I would say that the difficulty was living the journey. And I tackled the memoir writing from a place of acceptance and peace about the journey. It took me a long time to get there, which is probably why this has taken me, 12 years to complete. So it didn't feel painful to write. It felt more satisfying to finally be able to put this as a story with characters and dialogue and really a really satisfying creative challenge. I was lucky to have journals to pull from, journals from my dad, from my mom, from myself. I was an avid journal keeper as a kid. So that was really satisfying to be able to go back and read real dialogue from certain events in the past. And I feel like that has brought a real aliveness and truth to the manuscript that comes through. Couple books that I've enjoyed lately. I actually went back to school recently to become a mental health counselor. And so some of the books I've read have to do more from a mental health space. And one I've really enjoyed is called Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach, who is a meditation teacher. And this idea of just accepting what is has been so much a part of my own journey, of trading the wishing for a different experience for an acceptance of what is, and then choosing the meaning and momentum that I give those experiences in my life. That was such a part of re-narrating my own beliefs about myself and what this has all meant in my life. And I think we are all invited to do that, to look at the stories we're telling about ourselves and say, is this really true? Am I telling a story about myself that is true? Another nonfiction book I read recently was Ghosted by Nancy French, who's a fellow Nashville author. And I really love the way she illuminated that when we do tell the truth about certain aspects of our life, other people may not like it. So there is that trade-off between sometimes authenticity and acceptance. Is there anything else I want you to know about this book? I hope you read it. What I want you to know is that although it presents as a mother-daughter story, I think it is a story for all of us, regardless if we are mothers ourselves, if we are, raising children. The back jacket says it's a story of learning to hear your own voice and accepting that despite all hope and longing, a mother's best I could can still fall short. But this book is a reminder that we all have the powerful permission to develop a new relationship with what is difficult in our lives and fully choose and embody who we're meant to be. So I do hope that that's the biggest takeaway of this book is we have a choice. We have a choice of how we view the things that have happened to us and then what we want to do about it. So lastly, can I read an excerpt? Well, I'd love to. Just to give you some context, this passage is as I am 23 years old, I am trying to figure out what kind of medical intervention I need for my continued seizures that I've been having. And I invite my mother to come to Connecticut where I'm living. And this is our exchange. For 2 days, Jim and I show Mom around Connecticut and take her to the Statue of Liberty and a Broadway show. He's a good catch, she says about Jim, and cute. Her schoolgirl comments and happy energy for sightseeing bring a levity and welcome distraction from the pressing matters of my health. On Sunday morning, Mom and I sit at my kitchen table before heading back to the airport. I retrieve my MRI scans from my bedroom. Here it is, I say, circling my finger around the dark spot in my brain, explaining with my new vocabulary, contrast, lesion, right parietal lobe, Yale, resection. Sipping from a mug of hot water with lemon, Mom is quiet. This is where I'm expecting parental inquisition. Are you sure? What do you know about this doctor? How complicated is the surgery? What are the potential side effects? When do I need to arrive? How can I help? But no questions come. She sips more water. Is she confused? Over her head? Disinterested? Well, I prompt to fill the space. I'll keep praying, she says finally, and it's clear. I'm on my own with this one. A few days later, I call Dr. Spencer's office at Yale. My MRI sits still on the table amid unopened bills and Catherine's cookbooks. I'm torn between listening to doctors, myself, and Mom's unspoken opinion that makes me second guess. I'll put you through, says the nurse. My sweaty palm grips the receiver. I'm not used to talking on the phone with a world-renowned neurosurgeon. Marianne, how can I help you? Dr. Spencer says kindly. What a beautiful question. Does anyone really know what they're doing, I ask. Dr. Reese wants to wait and see while Columbia is ready to go on a treasure hunt. Dr. Spencer chuckles, but I hear more camaraderie than condescension. That's why I want to do a brain biopsy, Marianne, he says gently, to find out exactly what we're dealing with. He explains how they do pathology in real time during the surgery, treating my tissue while I'm on the operating table, and how if they find something bad, they take it out ASAP. If you were my daughter, this is what I'd recommend. My eyes water. This is it. The 5 words my heart needs. If you were my daughter, someone who sees me for me, a scared and overwhelmed young woman in need of compassionate guidance. Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you, Boulder Bookstore, for inviting me. I am so grateful to connect with your community, and I hope that we can meet through the words of my book, If You Were My Daughter.